Hello, everyone. Welcome to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, your Health Vibes brand new show here with Elana. How you doing there, Elana?
I'm doing great. And I'd like to introduce Cece to everybody, the fabulous Cece, my guest for today for this great show called New Year, Embrace You. And feeling good because you know what? I got out of bed today. That's a start.
Well, absolutely. You know, that's kind of part of the game, isn't it? We have to get up and get ourselves going. So, yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But I do want to share with the audience a little bit more about you because this is a brand new show, something that is new for you. But what we're talking about is not new for you, right? So, you're an advanced cancer exercise specialist, aqua aerobics, chair, yoga, balance, stability, oncology, Reiki, and a fall prevention educator. So you know your stuff when it comes to your health vibes, don't you?
I sure do. I think I'm a little bit of like a smorgasbord, just a mixture of it all. And I have, I kind of like to say I'm a puzzle maker, but I have a little piece of the puzzle with a little bit of it all, a little nuggets to, and they all relate, working with people with in aqua aerobics can relate to people in a balance. So we can all help each other out and each way, and each thing has a little bit to add to it.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, I know in your career, and we'll talk a little bit about that and then we'll move forward into your topic. But your specialty has been helping people through really some of the difficult times in their life through cancer, right? You've been helping individuals, with their health and exercise and stuff.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that because I don't know about that.
So with life, we get obstacles, things thrown and whatnot. And working with cancer patients has been a really blessing for me. And because I personally haven't had cancer, but plenty of people in my life have been affected to it. So I wanted to be a voice, someone safe, someone to be there to show up for someone and help them through the process. So I create programs from when they've been diagnosed to afterwards to the support, because a lot of times when they've been diagnosed, they go through the whole process, then they're thrown out in the world. Okay, we're done. We're all that. And that's not okay with me. So with this, it's a really special process where we really sit down and see what is needed and what is wanted in that. And it's also hard. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I feel I was put on this earth to do hard things and show up in a different way and be that voice to help and show someone that that's not their story. That's not going to define you. I think, we're so conditioned to creating these stories that haven't come up or defining ourselves to a story that's not true. So you are not your cancer. That doesn't define who you are. And I want to show that individual that that's not your title.
Yeah, that is so great. I tell you what, the more I talk to you, what brings to mind is like the lifestyle, right? We're trying to, and I know many of us, including myself, are, we're looking to step into our lives, right? We're ready to make a movement, try to really walk forward in our lives. And we have to create a lifestyle that's workable for us. But as we do that, our health is really on the forefront because we want to start being healthy because let's face it, we want to live longer, don't we? And so I think that the show is fabulous. Your Health Vibes, it's creating that shift, creating that momentum to move forward. And I know today we're going to be talking a little bit about that, aren't we?
Yeah. So it's really kind of the vibe and what you put into and how you want to show up. And, with this, I've learned a lot also, like with people in my life, like my father. I'll take him for example. I love you, Mom, and I love you, Dad. But just as an example, I say my dad's a cat with 9 lives. He has had cancer, a heart attack, he's been through it all. But his mental state, his mentality, the way he showed up has really shown me to be that bigger person, to show that it's your attitude, what you put in. He was never a poor me. He never said, why is this happening to me? Why am I going? He always showed up. He showed up for everybody else. But the best thing he did for himself was show up for himself, nobody else. So I think in all of this, we're put to in society, you got to show up for this person, you got to show up, and putting our feelings before everybody else.
Right.
And in this, it's not a new year, new you. You don't have to change you. So I think that's something that I really want to start. Everybody thinks, oh, new year, I have to change myself. We're not changing. It's changing your vibe. It's changing your energy. It's changing how you want to show up, and not writing that story of I'm good, I'm bad. So kind of wanted to brief the topic of New Year's resolutions and goals. I don't know how you feel about doing New Year's resolutions and goals, or what your thought is on that. But I definitely would like to brief about that pressure and what we do when we come up for a new year, that we have to create a whole new self-image.
Right. When I was talking to you, earlier about, our, resolutions, and sometimes we think, okay, well, we're going to do like this quick start right at the beginning of the year. We're going to reset, and then we fail, because we put so much emphasis on that. And when I was talking about really like creating a new vibration, right? Creating that new path for yourself. And every time you go to do something, it's really like in baby steps, isn't it?
Right. Because, in life, I think we want this instant gratification. We show up, I made the goal, I did this, so give me reward, I'm good, I'm bad. And it shouldn't be like that, because then you're going to disappoint yourself. Then you're going to feel like the failure. And then you're going to feel like I didn't achieve. And that's another thing. I don't really like the word goal either, because if you didn't reach your goal, then, you didn't do well. And it's not like that, is what you said. And baby steps. So, if you get out and you get up and you make your bed, and that's one thing you accomplish that day, then so be it. Or, I look at it as a little bit of like joy. I want to live my life in joy. I want to do things that light me up. When I talk about it, I want to see that excitement. I don't want to do the typical routine because that's what society tells me to do. So in this new year, I think people need to just come up, not I think, if it were me, I'd recommend that picking one thing a day, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 1 minute, you take that one thing that lights you up. So say, something I like to do in the morning. I love to get up, sorry, mom and dad and anybody else, naked, and put on my favorite song and let loose. I don't care what it is, how it is, and that excites me. That's my joy. That gets me going and starting. So a recommendation, maybe when you get up in the morning, you don't have to do it naked, but you can get
birthday suit
and put on your birthday suit, unless it's your birthday.
That's funny.
I mean, get outside of the box. So with that, get up in the morning and play some music, or lying in bed, do a few little exercises, shake out your wrists, do little things like that. Or one thing I really like to do, that putting your hand on your heart and on your stomach, taking that deep breath in, breathing in what serves purpose, and releasing what doesn't. Because so many times we store in all these things, and before we go to bed at night, we're thinking what to do. We wake up in the morning, we're thinking what to do. We're heady. But living from the heart, that's what I like to promote. What feels good here? When it feels good here, does it really feel good because it's the mind, or is it in your heart? Are you feeling it truly?
Right. That's such great advice. I like the idea that, for many out there that might very well be listening through the internet, maybe they can't move around as much. And so they give up on exercise. They give up on that movement that they need to do. And then what happens when you give up on it, it just becomes worse and worse. Our bodies become, they just don't cooperate with us when we do that.
Right.
Yeah. So I love the idea that, okay, you can do it in bed. If you find that you are restricted because of your health, you can do the exercise where you're at. You can do it in a chair. You can do it in bed. You don't have to do, like what you see on TV. Yeah. You see on TV, all the young girls doing all this, all this movement, and you're going, oh, I can't possibly do that. So you give up on it. But if you just do it where you're at, start where you're at. and
Right.
then
And I love
progress.
that you say that. Exactly. Start where you're at. Don't put that pressure on you, because exactly, we do that story. I didn't do it like this, or I need to do this way. There's no right or wrong way. It's how you want to show up. How do you feel doing it? Whether you do like little things, shake out the wrist, give yourself a massage, a head massage, or when you're watching TV, you can just march lifting up your knees up and down with your hands, little stuff
Mhm.
like that. It's so simple. I think we always have an excuse of I can't, but you can. And here it is. You have a choice. And that's one thing my mom has always taught me. She said, Elana, you always have a choice. And you do. You have a
I
choice
love
how you want to show up. You have a choice
that.
how you want to put your vibe out there. And don't get me wrong, here it is. We all have our bad days. So someone looks at me like, Elana, you're always so happy and you're so joyful. Yeah. But at the same time, you catch me on a bad day, I'm going to tell you, I'm having a bad day. I want to sit in bed and I don't care.
Mhm.
So I think having that compassion, we don't have enough compassion. We have compassion for everybody else. What would you tell your friend who said, what, I'm having a bad day. I just kind of want to hang out in bed and not do anything? Would you say like, oh my God, you're a loser. You're sitting in bed. You're not doing anything with yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
It's the talk. And I think that's the biggest thing, is learning how to talk to yourself, because we all do it. The other day I was not very nice to Elana. And, I have to admit, this is, you guys, my first podcast. I'm putting myself out there doing
You're
something.
doing a great job.
Thank you. And I'll be honest, I called Cece today and I was like, I think I'm freaking out. I'm having an attack. But that's me being vulnerable, being honest,
Mhm.
and me showing up the real, authentic Elana that I am, because you're going to get me real here on camera as you are behind the scenes.
Yes, absolutely. Well, what comes to mind for me, is that you get in your mind, don't you? You get stuck in there and you start being fearful, and you just can't do that. You have to step out of the box a little bit. And I like what you said about the heart, that you really truly have to let your heart lead you. Because sometimes we get stuck in our minds, and if we just bring it down to the heart, bring it real, be authentic, we can step forward. And I think that this year, right, because we're talking about a new year, creating that shift in your life, embracing yourself, and that's what you wanted to talk about today, was really embracing who you are, where you're at, understanding that you want to move forward, and then maybe some of the tips and the help along the way that you give us, Elana. I think we can do it. I think we can raise our vibration and continue to move forward in a positive way.
I do too. And I think, thank you so much for your encouragement and your positive words and just that support. And speaking of that, I want to bring up community. I think this is what really, this year really shines as well. Embracing yourself, but a community, putting yourself with people who feel good for you. When you go into that room, how does your body feel? When you show up, how is that energy around that situation? And I feel so many times we are wanting that community. We're craving for that energetic connection, which I like to call it. And so with that, raising that vibration, getting that community, asking for support, asking for that help if you need it, and showing up for each other. What is your thought on community?
Oh, I'm so with you. I think we crave it, as individuals, and me being a senior, right? I mean, I have to admit it, but I am in that area.
Hot senior as it is.
I know.
Number, but you're looking pretty good there.
I have to remind myself sometimes. Okay, you're a senior. You gotta act like it. But we find ourselves alone a lot, and so this is why I created the Going Solo Network, is because I wanted a community. I wanted an area where people could connect with each other and really connect with like-minded individuals, ones that get, number one, what they're going through, and so that they can be encouraged and enlightened and embraced by other people. And so, yeah, community to me is like the number one thing that's vital, I think, in our
Mhm.
lives. And so we're finding that more and more people are willing to step out of the box
Yes.
to really be with other people because they realize that what they can gain from others. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, community is right there. It's my hot ticket. So I think it's very, very important.
And I think to piggyback on top of that, with
Mhm.
that, because with everything that's been going on for the past years, we've been afraid. We've been afraid to put ourselves out there. And then now, when we're around people, it's like, can I hug you? Can this happen? And it's like, and so with that, I think it's really hard because we're afraid of that. But for me, hugging is one of my favorite things. I am a hugger.
Mhm. I am too. I totally get that.
I've always done that, and touch. So,
Mhm.
when I used to teach in my classes, before everybody would come in, I'd give them the biggest hug ever. And that was like our thing. Like, come in, before you came in, you got a hug from Elana. And I miss that. I miss the hug. I miss the touch. Even when you're talking to someone, putting your hand on someone's arm, and someone the other day was like, gosh, that was so nice to be touched. And not in a sexual way, because so
Right.
many times people turn it to that, and that's not what it's about. It's about the touch, it's about the energy, it's about the connection, it's about how you feel. And that's why I also love Reiki, because that's like an energy healing. And when I touch someone, I feel that I can give them this beautiful energy, and they can receive something where they can really see themselves and really feel that special touch and feel loved and hugged.
Mhm. Yeah, it's so right on. I run a divorce support group here in our local area and now in our Going Solo community. And of course that's online, so it's hard to touch someone online. But in person, I always make it an effort to give them a hug, and mainly because I know that they are going through hell,
Mhm.
and they're going through one of the hardest times in their lives, and they just need someone to just give them a hug. Say,
Right.
"You're gonna be okay. You're gonna get through this."
Embracing them,
Right.
like that's, with the show, you're embracing them, you're
Mhm.
acknowledging them. And I think that's the biggest thing too. People want to just be acknowledged. Just
Mhm.
like, hey, I'm here, just, hey, I see you.
Right.
I think people just want to be seen and heard.
Mhm.
And so many times we feel trapped, or don't say this, or you're not allowed to say this, or, the way we're conditioned growing up, like, you need to go in and be a good girl and don't say anything and put on your smile and act like that, and it's enough of that. We need to show up true, authentic selves, because a lot of times we're conditioned not to.
Yeah. Now, something I'd like to share with the audience, if you're listening out there while we're actually live here, you're welcome to make a comment. All you have to do is just write in, and you can make a comment. We can see it right here and we can bring it forward if you have a question, or if you have like maybe a challenge that you're experiencing that you want Elana to maybe help you through. You can definitely share that, and she can give you some one-on-one information quickly here on the show. But I love this energy because so often as we're moving through our lives, we get so much negative stuff, right?
Mhm.
We really are walking through the mud, and so when we have someone in our lives that's positive, right, whether it be online or in person,
Right.
if
No
we can
matter.
catch that, right, we can catch that vibration, right, we can catch that energy, and it enlightens us, we embrace it, and we're able to be able to be uplifted. And so I feel that that's really important. So I love the idea of your show. I love the idea of health vibes and your health vibes, because your health really embraces your whole being, right?
Right. And just like how you want to show up, or just exercising. So I a couple my grandmother.
Hey, we got a
Hey, that's my family. What up, mom and dad?
oh, that's awesome.
That's where I get my good looks from, mom and dad.
There you go.
Um, you know, I think what's really saved my grandma is she 90, she turned, I think, 95, 96. And what's keeping her alive and going is She worked out. She did Pilates. She gets massages. Even yesterday, I call her. Is like, "Hey, bestie, what's up?" And she's like, actually, I'm getting a massage right now, so I can't really talk." And then she goes, "But do you have anything good for me?" And I was like, "Enjoy your massage." So doing things for ourselves, showing up. The woman gets a massage at 95 years old, like amazing from Doug, and to enjoy that. So that's something I could recommend is doing things for yourself, getting a massage, getting your hair done, which I love to do, or your nails, and showing up that way, because I think when we take time for ourselves and filling our cup for ourselves, then we can fill it for others.
Right. Absolutely. Well, the first part of the show went by so quickly. We're going to have to take a quick break, and when we do, you guys just grab a glass of water or something. It's going to be very quick. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about raising your vibration, keeping that going, not only now here today in January, but throughout the year. And we've got this brand new show here with us. I'm so excited. It's Your Health Vibes with Elana. We have Elana Feldman. Thank you, Elana, for doing this and coming on our station. We're talking about New Year, Embrace You. So we're just really, really thrilled to have you. This is WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, and we're going to be right back. Hang tight, everyone.
I'm right back.
Yeah, for sure. Well, welcome back, everyone. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. You're listening to a brand new show here today. We have got a new show called The Health Vibes with Elana Feldman. She is the host of it. I am Cece Shatz. If you guys don't know me, I'm the Doyenne of Relationship Building. I am a divorce, dating, and a life coach that connects singles throughout our Going Solo Network platform. You can reach me on Going Solo Network. .com. And then also, if you want to email me, it's goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. But we are on the platform here at WGSN, which is the Going Solo Media. We've got a lot going on here. Elana is really helping us going through the new year, trying to raise our vibration. And so welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Once again, just thank you so much for this opportunity, and just so grateful to be here and starting the show, embracing this new year, embracing myself, embracing you, and grateful for this opportunity.
Oh, it's great having you here. I really do believe what you're doing is going to change lives. I mean, we so often want to create something different in our lives, and we don't know how to go about doing it. And so understanding that all we need to do is really concentrate on ourselves, raise our vibration, and then you showing us how to do that, both in our heart. What do we say? It's going to be in our heart,
mind, and soul.
Yeah. So it's going to be I think a real true experience for everyone to be able to move forward. So let's talk a little bit about that energy. Energy.
So with that, I kind of want to start off with, a lot of times with my classes and things that I do, I always like people, I know it kind of sounds cheesy, but hey, I'm a little bit cheesy myself. So what I like to do is put my hands on my heart, and I say, I honor my heart. And then I bring my hands up to my head. I honor my mind. And then I make a circle around myself, and I say, I honor my soul. And I say that 3 times. And I have that energy out there by honoring your heart, honoring your mind, and honoring your soul, and showing up for yourself and loving you, and not necessarily, we're always in the head, so leading with that. So that's another little tidbit that I wanted to put out there for everybody, is showing up for yourself and honoring your heart, your mind, and your soul. And so next, another little thing, when we're doing all this, raising our vibration, everybody thinks, new year, I got to work out, I have to do all these things, and I have to exercise, and I have to lose weight, and I have to be on this diet. And no, you don't have to do any of that. There's plenty of ways that you can show up, and plenty of ways that you can do little things. So a few little things that I like to do, if you want to move your body, cleaning the house. As much as we don't like to clean house, that's exercise. Just putting on your favorite songs. As I said, putting on some music, raising that vibration, moving up and moving forward with that. Put on your favorite song, clean that house. You know how fast you'll end up cleaning that house by, it's something you don't want to do, but you end up doing it, and you're exercising, killing two birds with one stone. Or, when you're going to a store, you can go to the store and park way across the way from there. And so instead of being like, I like to call it, I got princess parking. Today, I'm not going to do princess parking, but what I'm going to do is I am going to park really far away so that I can get my steps in while I walk it out. I'll walk it out. So something like that, another little tidbit, to do. So instead of calling it exercise, you park farther away, or, get up in the morning and do some stretches, little things like that. While you're lying in bed, you can move your hips, raising them up and down, or giving yourself just a little massage, massaging your arm, and doing something like that, which is awesome. We put so much pressure on ourselves so many times to do something that you see or you think that you have to do. You don't have to do anything. And with it all, you have a choice, which I always say, you have a choice of how you want to show up. You have a choice of your vibrations. And as I said, don't get me wrong. You have your good days and you have your bad days. So embrace that. Embracing you. Embracing how you want to show up. Or as I said, with communication, how do you talk to yourself? How does that show up? As I said a couple days ago, with this being my first podcast and putting myself out there is a lot. Of course, me, I will talk to anybody and everybody, but when you're kind of put on and the focus is on you, and you're talking about everything, it's like, you put the little monkey in your head starts, are they going to like me? Who's going to show up? Am I going to do this? And that judgment and criticism come into play. But you know what? Accept it. Embrace it. If you're having a bad day, say that's okay, because there's tomorrow. Have that grace, have that compassion, and that ease on yourself. So that's a great question. How do you deal with the bad days when you have to show up? So, so many times that's very true. So the way that I deal with that sometimes, or some suggestions, is putting yourself in someone else's shoes. So knowing, like, if I have to teach a class and I'm having a bad day, if I show up like that, what is that going to do for others? Is that going to give them a good vibration or a bad vibration? So I think you can show up no matter where you're at your life, knowing that I'm going to put myself out there for someone else. How would they feel? How would I want someone to show up for myself? How do I want to put myself forward? And I'd want someone, to show up authentically and say, you know what, you could be like, you know what, I'm not having the best day, but I'm here. I did it. I showed up. I persevered. So I think with that was a great question, and so many times we're told to, like, oh, don't do this and don't do that, and putting that pressure. Show up how it feels good for you, or as I said, what is something that when you think of gives you that joy, makes you smile? When I think of my family, when I think of my boyfriend, when I think of my friends, when I think of how grateful I am to what I have in my life, that gives me a smile. And as I said, we all go through stuff, and that's what we need to acknowledge. We are all there and we all show up. And here it is. I kind of look at us as sausages. We're all like a sausage. We're all alike. It's just you have that casing, and everything is a little different. We all have everything together, but maybe on the outside we look different, but we're all the same inside. We're all the same inside. We have all the same parts. And I think that's the biggest thing is we're judging everybody else, but in reality, why are we judging everybody else when we all are in this together? We are all going through things, and it's just showing up and changing that vibe and how you want to vibe. Also a few other things that I want to talk about that's really helped me is breath work. I have been going to a few special ceremonies and things for breath work and sound baths, and the release that I have had has been incredible. Releasing yourself, releasing that energy, because we store so much in our bodies and in our hips. And when we store that, it's a lot of the trauma, and it's how we want to release it, how we want to get rid of it. Stuff like shaking it off, shaking those hands, shaking out your wrist, and moving that body, jumping, water is really, really good, for that. And maybe, that's very tranquil by putting yourself in water or at peace. For me, I really like to feel grounded. And when I like to feel grounded too, sometimes, and really getting that energy, speaking of energy, I will go to, even in my backyard or a park, and just standing in nature, breathing in what serves purpose, breathing out what doesn't, feeling grounded, feeling calm. Or a few other things I like to do is go to the beach and release that energy, feeling walking on the beach, feeling the breeze in my face, letting go. It's really hard to let go, because so many times we think that there's an attachment, like an outcome. If I call someone, they don't call me back, there's an attachment. Call someone because you want to call, and not because there's going to be thinking that story. What's going to happen? How is it going to play out? Let it play out. It is easier said than done on that, but you can do it. I want to be that voice for you too. I want to be able to show up, to be there. I want to be there to not judge. I want to be there to show you that light. I want to be there to show you that you're not alone. I'm only a phone call away. And I say that to everybody. I'm only a phone call away. You're never alone. I see you. I honor you. And I'm here for you. And that's why I really wanted to start this, is to be able to show up and show you that it's all about your vibe. It's all about what you want to show up for and embracing it. Not necessarily, as what I said, this new year, changing you, but changing your vibration, and also talking about food and healthy things and things like that. You don't have to do these crazy diets. You don't have to be sitting on these scales and saying I'm this or that. It's how you feel good in your clothes. It's when you put on that outfit, do you feel like you're a badass? Do you feel like you're that rock star? Do you feel like, hey, I'm going to walk in and feel good about myself? It's how you choose to vibe when you show up. It's not about the number. It's not about the size. It's about you and your vibration and how you choose to put on that outfit. Or if you're feeling bad, my parents have always said, get up and get dressed. Yeah, a lot of times because of my work, I'm wearing workout clothes and doing things like that. And so it is different. But, when I get to dress up, put on some makeup, get my hair did, I always feel so much better. And it's not putting on an act, it's not putting on a show, it's showing up for myself. And I think so many times we feel if I'm feeling bad or I can't do this, you can. I think putting on something makes you feel better. As I said, I'm not a shopper. You can ask anybody. When my mom and my sister would go shopping, I'd ask my dad to watch sports with him. I'd always want a personal shopper. But here it is. What you can do is do things that you like for yourself. As I said, I love to get my hair done. I love to get my nails done. I feel so classy. I feel really good about myself. So doing little things like that, or for food, things like that, it's portion control. You can have what you want. It's how you choose to do it, or for certain things, ice cream. I love ice cream, or I did back in the day, But for me, bananas have always been my favorite thing. Bananas, well, people are going to love or hate them. I love frozen bananas. So a little tidbit is freeze the bananas, then blend them up. You can put some peanut butter in it. You can put other things, and it's called nice cream. And it's little treats like that. Or say you had that cookie, maybe have it a little bit earlier before you go to bed. So many times we're conditioned, as what I said, of writing that story or making you be a good girl or a bad girl or a reward. It shouldn't be about that. You're not good. You're not bad. You're you. And showing up for yourself like that is something, having that compassion. You want your cookie, eat your cookie.
I love that. I love being able to have what you want. Of course you can't eat a lot of it. We can't go crazy, but we could have it, maybe instead of having our dessert at the end of the day, have it at lunchtime, right?
Right.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. This time went by very, very quickly. So do you want to share like your last closing words with us?
Yeah, the last closing words, I have a few little closing words, is like I always like to end my class with, I love myself, I love everyone, and everybody loves me. And I'm going to say it one more time. I love myself, I love everyone, and everybody loves me. I'd also like to give a shout out to my family and friends and the support that you've given me. You've loved on me and have seen me when I haven't seen myself. So I want to honor you and thank you and grateful for that as well. And lastly, I would love for you to reach out. And if you need anything, as I said, I'm only a phone call away. You've got a friend in me. And I'm so excited to move forward with this. You can get a hold of me at yourhealthvibes.com. It's and my phone number is area code 562-235-8410. My email is ef11ca@gmail.com. I have plenty of ways to get a hold of me. I look forward to continuing this amazing podcast. And I want to just thank you, Cece, so much for showing up today. And I hope you all enjoyed it, because I was in my head a little bit today.
Well, it's wonderful. It's great that you have these people watching and listening, and they love you too. And that is pretty awesome indeed. Well, you guys, this show's going to be a bi-weekly show, so I hope you guys will come back to us. We have Jason Weiss, Ask Jason Weiss in between. And so that will be next week. And then Elaine will be back on. And that will be terrific to have you here. And so today's show was Embrace You. And, it's a new year, and that's what we need to do. We can create that shift in our lives, right?
Right.
And this new show, that Your Health Vibes with Elana, is terrific. And I love it. Thank you, Elana, for doing it.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to just spread some more joy and love. And I love you all. I see you all, and I honor you.
Oh, I'm looking forward to your next show. You guys, you're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We hope that you enjoyed this and that you'll stick around and watch the other shows right here on the goingsolomedia.com. We've got them throughout the day here into the evening. So on Thursdays, we've got a big lineup, and we have other shows on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and so on. So thank you so much, Elana, for this first show. I love it, and I can't wait for the next one.
Thank you so much. I hope everybody has a beautiful rest of your week. And once again, thank you so much for all your love and support.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye for now.